Broadcasting from the world-famous LWDL studio, this is Life with Dan and Lewis. I'm Dan.
And I'm Lewis.
And we're here to talk about life and all the wonderful, magical, horrible, awful, fantastic stuff inside that four-letter word, life. Before we get too far in, if you hear anything you'd like to say, feel free to go over to buymeacoffee.com/LWL. Your support is greatly appreciated for this little adventure we are on. Hey, it's good to see you.
It's good to see you too.
How was your week?
It was not busy, then busy. It was not busy because I didn't have court Monday and Tuesday. My prosecutors were away in a conference, which I attended later on in the week, but I didn't have to go to the whole session because I already been to the first part. It was a DWI specialty court conference, and since my court is a specialty court, just going and listening to different speakers about different treatments and different things you can do in a treatment court, and they also talked about how to diversify your team and know the dynamics of the people that you're taking into your specialty court and how to better work with them.
Cool.
So we went up on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. My prosecutors and a few members of my court team were there the whole week, but it was pretty good. Some other speakers I heard before, but for the most part, there was a lot of new information that was given.
Nice.
I appreciate it. And, it was only in San Marcos, about 40-minute drive from home. So
not too bad.
Wasn't bad at all. Last year, I had to travel to Denton, Texas.
A little bit farther.
Yeah, but the atmosphere out there was great.
Cool.
People were nice. The hotel was, last year, it was brand new, probably like maybe 1 or 2 years old.
Right.
And they had smart tablets in all the rooms, so you can like control the lights and everything.
Right.
And in the bathroom, you can hook up your phone to the mirror, and then it has a sound bar hidden in the mirror.
That's cool.
All around. And so while you're taking a shower, you can just turn on your Pandora or whatever and just listen to whatever.
Yeah, that's something I don't have that I would love. I take my phone in the shower with me and just throw it up on my shelf. Yeah. And just hope, fingers crossed, it doesn't get too wet. But yeah, that's an awesome idea. A mirror with speakers.
Yeah.
I need to look into that. That's an awesome idea.
Yeah, I think so also. I think it's a great idea because some people listen to like the news while
I do podcasts in the shower all the time.
Yeah, and so you can just listen to whatever you want at that point in time and not have to worry.
What a great idea.
Yeah. So that was my week, and then came back and was rushing back. Well, not rushing too much. Thursday night there was a weather storm that blew in, and my car was covered with dust and dirt and everything. I was praying.
Did you guys get hail up there?
We got hail Wednesday night.
Yeah, I guess that was Wednesday.
Night. I heard it hitting against my window, and I woke up, and then I'm sitting there like, dear God, don't let nothing happen to my car.
Yeah. And
then so Thursday night when it started raining, a few my team members and I, we went outside. One, it was windy. It was really nice breeze, but then they started showing tornado warnings, and we're like, maybe we should go inside. And then somebody said something about golf ball, baseball size hail.
Oh my God.
And everybody was like freaking out. I was just like, look, I mean, we're in San Marcos. What can we do? There's no parking garages anywhere around. So, it's just one of those things where like, if it happens, it happens, and you have to deal with it. But fortunately, thankfully, nothing happened. And so Friday, after the conference was over, got a bite to eat, drove back in time enough to pick up my daughter.
Oh, nice.
I was going to go by the car washes, or a car wash to wash my car, but every single car wash in San Antonio that I passed by was an hour and a half wait.
Yeah.
And I was just
we had storms down here too, and you know how it is down here. Everyone parks out in the street in the driveway, so
yeah,
everyone gets their car washed after a storm.
And even the wash tub by my house, I was going to go over there.
Right.
They had cars backed up all the way to the street.
Wow.
And they had a person out there like flagging people off, like, we can't take anymore because they don't want people just sitting in the street, obstructing traffic, waiting to get their car washed. So I waited till later on at night, and I found a self-serve car wash, and I just, had to get out, get the, the
little wand thing,
put $5 and get $5 worth of quarters out. But it's like it doesn't happen often where you wash your car yourself, but But the highlight was getting to my daughter's school. She didn't expect me to be there, and when she saw me,
that's cool.
Because the teacher walks her out to the front door, and when she saw me, she was like trying to run away from her teacher, Daddy! And then just runs and just jumps in my arms, and so That was pretty cool. Yeah. So, but yeah, it was a nice busy week. Pretty active. What about you? How was yours?
It was good. I worked Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. Worked to 11 p.m. on regular work. Had bowling Wednesday, and bowling's going good. People have been, I don't know, it's fine. They've been a little needier the last few weeks. Like there's a dress code complaint. Like I'm not going to tell someone what they can and can't wear. Like it's not my problem.
Yeah.
And like there was this like weird situation with someone claimed that people were walking into the wrong bathroom, but then when we looked at the security camera, like it was a totally like normal reaction. Like you go to walk in the bathroom, you put your hand on the door, and then you look at the sign and you realize it's the wrong one, so then you take your hand off the door like it's on fire. Yeah. That's what the guy did. Like it was a totally normal thing. And it sort of like kind of felt like it was going to become an issue, but then it was fine.
Yeah.
And then people just like wanted their like timers reset and stuff this week, which is fine. It was like more than normal. Like some weeks are just like real smooth.
Yeah.
Like I don't have to do anything. I just sit there. And this week it was like more like I had to go like tell the front desk this or that and ask for this or whatever. I don't know, just kind of different this week, which is fine. That's why I'm there.
Yeah.
So it was fine. I think next season I'm going to be on a team and be the rep. So that'll be kind of fun.
The person who almost accidentally walked into the wrong bathroom, were they on a phone or?
No, and he wasn't one of mine. He was a customer.
Oh, okay, just a regular customer.
Yeah. And where the bathrooms are, it's apparent they're restrooms, but the signs aren't like, you have to be at the door to see the sign. Like you can't, you don't approach from a distance and then see the sign. Like you have to be like right up on it.
Oh, okay.
Because there's like angles and like stuff involved in how you get to the bathroom.
Okay.
And it was the bathrooms at the back of the bowling alley, not the front bathrooms. The front bathrooms are like normal, like big signs painted.
Man, woman.
Yeah. But the back ones just have like a little plaque and you have to do like 2 90-degree turns to get to them. So you're not going to see the sign until like you're practically opening the door.
Yeah, that the reason why I asked, because that happened to me one time. I was at a restaurant and I had to go to the restroom.
Mm-hmm.
I was on my phone and walked into the women's restroom. There was a woman that was washing her hands, saw me, and saw the, oh shit, I messed up face, and she just busted out laughing, and I was like, I'm so sorry. And she was like, it's fine. I see that you're on your phone, but it's okay. And she was pretty normal about it, and I just walked out, went to the women's, and...
Was there a door you had to open, or was this one of the ones that you sort of walk into?
It was a long corridor, and then the women's were on one side, the men was on the other.
Okay.
And then I just wasn't paying attention.
Because I'm always leery about the restrooms that sort of are the snail shell ones.
Yeah.
Like where you have to like walk around a corner and like there's no door to push open.
Yeah.
Because the door is like the final step, right?
Correct.
Like you have to put your hand on it, you have to do something. And that's like the last confirmation like I'm going in the right place. But when you don't have that, it's like, is this the right place?
My thing was I was at a restaurant that I've never been.
Right.
And I just wasn't paying attention. I was on my phone.
And just like this guy at bowling, like everything you did was innocent. And then as soon as you realized you had a mistake, you got the hell out of there.
Exactly.
So, but I don't know.
Unfortunately, like for me, I had actually ran into a woman.
Right.
And I don't think, and I actually entered.
Well, at least you ran into her at the sink, not like ran into her in a stall. I mean,
yeah.
It could have gotten worse.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think at that point I would have just walked out. Well, not walked, ran out to get my
whole
food.
Way out to the.
I don't want my food, and I'm going back to work.
It's so silly. Like we all use the restroom. Like mistakes happen. Let's just be adult about it. Like you weren't in there for nefarious purposes.
Exactly.
So,
if the cops had got called, I would explain it to them, and it would have been an honest mistake.
No big deal. Yeah.
I mean, like, good thing is there's always security footage.
Yep.
And one easy look at the security footage can tell it was a mistake. And
yeah,
although one party might be more upset than the other, but I mean, hey, life happens sometimes. Right.
Yeah.
So,
anyways, so that's what happened at bowling this week. I guess over the last couple of weeks, we skipped a week there. I think we posted an episode, but we skipped a week of recording. Anyways, yeah, so yeah, it was just busy this week, and I was able to finish stuff up Friday, so I don't have to do any work over the weekend, which is nice. But
that's always nice.
Yeah, just did some yard work this morning, and we're recording on a Saturday instead of our normal Friday. But actually, this might be a normal thing. I don't know. We're trying things out.
Yeah.
But yeah, did some yard work this morning. Going to do some more yard work next weekend.
Yes.
We'll talk a little more about that at the end of the show. But yeah, my week was good. Yeah.
But that's good. Sounds like a good amount of busy to keep your time and things going by and make you feel like you're productive and stuff, which is good. I'm looking to getting back into the office this week, and just going from there.
Right. I'm working through the Marvel movies. I'm watching all of them in release order.
Yeah.
So I just like every night I've been watching, or even at lunch I'll watch 20 minutes or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's all movies I've seen before and seen multiple times, so you don't have to watch them like in a single sitting.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of fun. I'm up to Captain America: Winter Soldier. I'm halfway through that one. And I told myself I wasn't going to skip movies. I skipped Thor: Dark World.
What?
I don't like the Thor movies. I watched the first one in order because I was going to sit in the couch and watch it.
Yeah.
And I was going to play on my phone. But I wanted to start watching something at lunch the other day, and I wanted to watch a movie I like, and I like Captain America: Winter Soldier.
Okay.
I don't really like the Thor movies, so I skipped Thor: Dark World. I might go back and watch it before I go to like the next phase. But we'll see.
Just have a couple of drinks and be over in no time.
Yeah, and if it's like I'm gonna sit in the couch and like watch a movie and play on my phone, it might be okay to put that one on, but not when I'm like under a time crunch, like at lunch or something. But we'll see. It's fun. I kind of like going back and rewatching like franchises or universes.
Yeah.
Like, and I've had a long project. We've talked about this in the show before. I've had a long project of watching all of Star Trek, and I've been off that for a little while now. So I probably need to get back into that. I'm in the Next Generation. I'm towards the end of the Next Generation where we're crossing over with Deep Space Nine. So I need to finish up, and I'm watching them in episode release order, which means I have to alternate between series because the Next Generation and Deep Space Nine were on at the same time.
Yeah.
So like I have to watch the week episode for Next Generation and Deep Space Nine. And actually Voyager comes into this too. So I think at some point I'll be watching 3 series at once. I need to look at my timeline again. But I'm watching them as if you were experiencing them for the first time as they came out. So it's kind of fun. I like it a lot.
Yeah. Alicia and I had talked about starting watching Star Wars.
Yeah.
From the beginning until current.
Yeah, I've done that. You have to do it with the shows too. So you have to do it with the Clone Wars animated series.
Okay.
And that's going to add a lot of time to it, but that animated series is so good and it fills in so many stories that happen in between episode 2 and 3.
Okay.
It's so good. I think there's like 7 or 8 seasons and the seasons are like 30 or 40 episodes. It's a lot. But I did it and it's worth it.
Okay.
The movies are great too, just to watch the movies in order. And you can do it 2 different ways. You can do it in the way the viewer did it, or you can do it in the way the universe is written. So you can go 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. Or you can go 1 through 9. Oh, and you have to add Solo, the offshoot movie, Solo and Rogue One.
Yeah.
So it goes 1, 2, 3, Solo, Rogue One, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
I want to do it in order of how it'll make sense.
Well, it depends. There's a whole debate. Because if you were alive for all of these, you would watch them 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 7, Solo, 8, Rogue One, 9.
Okay.
That's how they were released in theater. But in timeline order, it goes 1, 2, 3, Solo, Rogue One, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
If you were to watch it, how would you watch it?
I like watching it that way. 1, 2, 3,
4, 5.
1, 2, 3, Solo, Rogue One, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Okay. I'm just gonna start and then.
Yeah. And the reason I like it that way is because 1, 2, 3 are by far the weakest of the movies.
Okay.
So it sort of gets the crap out of the way.
And then you get into the good stuff.
Yeah. I like episode 3 a lot. That's where we see Anakin turn into Vader. I just like that story a lot, but there's still a lot of crap in that. Yeah. And then 4, 5, and 6 are like classic. And then Solo isn't that great. It's an okay story. Rogue One I really like.
Yeah, I like Rogue One too.
And it ties Rogue One, if you watch it and then you watch episode 4 right away, the first one that was ever released back in 77, those movies they are practically together. One ends like 10 seconds before the other one begins. It's like a perfect pairing. And even like some of the cinematography they did like to match that tone. Those are really good movies. And then 4, 5, 6 are like classics.
Okay.
So that's fun to watch because those are the older ones. And then 7, 8, 9, they're fine. There's some storylines that get a bit excessive, but you know, they're fun still. They're a lot better than the prequels. So that's how I would watch it.
Cool. Yeah, that's on our bucket list to do sometime this year.
It's fun. That's fun. I like that kind of stuff. You know, the Harry Potter franchise is one I do probably a couple times a year. I like to watch through those. I like those. Those are good background movies for me. And then, you know, a guilty pleasure is the Twilight movies. I know they're crap. I know the books are crap. But if I see one of them on, that almost always gets me into watching all of them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I never really got into Twilight nor Harry Potter. But maybe I'll take a look at one of them and then
the
see
Harry
how
Potter
I feel.
movies they're good. I would not recommend the Twilight movies. They're like good bad or bad good. Like like bingy, cringy, like I don't know, they're kind of fun. The Harry Potter movies, especially the last 4, so 5, 6, and the 2 parts of 7, are really good movies, even outside of the franchise.
Okay.
They're just good movies.
I just feel like because there's people in our friends group that talk about Harry Potter and this and that, and I feel left out because I never watched the shows. So I think I need to. I'm always sitting back like Googling it just to keep up and see what you guys are talking about. But I might take a look at it and see.
1 through 3 are sort of a little bit campy and cheesy, and then 4 gets more like realistic and like 1 through 3. There's like some things in there that are like almost like historic, like the way they dress and like the way the stuff is done.
Okay,
like you don't know what time you're in, and then 4 it starts to feel more like current time, alternate universe.
Yeah,
and then 5 and 6, 7, and 7 part 2 are all like that. Like they have that same like dark, like realistic alternate universe feel.
Okay.
That's why I like the second half of the movies better, but they're all great movies. And a lot of the problem that you have is that Sarah and I have read the books multiple times.
Yeah.
So our knowledge is super deep. I think Claire has read them too.
Yeah.
But you'd get like a gist of what's going on in our discussions with the movies.
I do.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure if I watched it, I'd be like, oh yeah, this is what they're talking about. This is where that comes. Yeah. So yeah. That's pretty cool.
Hunger Games is another good one. There's 4 movies in that one. It's a good like universe to get sucked into. Yeah, and I guess anyone listening, if you have other good like universes that have, you know, TV shows, movies sort of tied together, let us know and we'll put those on the list.
Yeah, definitely. Or, you know, something new for us to watch or whatever. Like, let us know.
Before we tell you about our friends, we'd like to ask you to be our friend too. Life with Dan and Lewis is actively looking for new brands, podcasts, people, and companies to partner with. If you're interested, drop us a note at lifewithdanandlewis@gmail.com.
That's lifewithdanandlewis@gmail.com.
Remote working? Remoting. Follow along on a journey of a new job, new facility, new coworkers, and a new normal. Remote working. Remoting. Inspired by real life, enhanced by imagination. Follow along at remotingblog.com.
Remoting blog.
Eating gluten and dairy-free can be challenging. GFDF Eating aims to show all the delicious food you can make and buy without sacrificing taste, diversity, or quality. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram at GFDF Eating.
That's GFDF Eating.
We'd like to hear from you. After all, we are doing this for your entertainment. Drop us a note and let us know where you're listening from, or if you have any ideas for new segments, things you'd like us to stop doing, do more of, less of, or anything at all. Email us at lifewithdanandlewis@gmail.com.
That's lifewithdanandlewis@gmail.com.
So we've all heard of the golden rule, and that's the principle of treating others as you want to be treated. There's various expressions of this rule throughout most religions and creeds and ethics throughout all of time. But basically what it comes down to is treating others the way you would like them to treat you. And then the inverse as well. Do not treat someone the way that you would not want to be treated.
Exactly.
And you can sort of also express that empathetically too. What you wish upon others, you should wish upon yourself.
Yes.
So this is all ideas of the golden rule. And there's an article this week in the Wall Street Journal written by Karl Rove talking about how the Representative Kevin McCarthy, now Speaker Kevin McCarthy, is sort of modeling the golden rule. So in the previous House, he was the minority leader, with Nancy Pelosi being the Speaker for the House. So he's determined to reduce the needless bipartisanship, and one way he's doing that is treating the new minority leader, Hakeem Jeffries, the way that he wishes he would have been treated as the previous minority leader. So the ways he's doing this is before he makes appointments to committees, he's giving the names to Mr. Jeffries so that the Democrats can make appointments of equal caliber. He's also inviting the Democrats to different committees and helping form stronger committees together for things like the Committee on China and other national security committees. And these are also courtesies that Nancy Pelosi specifically denied him when it comes to home security, national security, and things like that, which is areas that the minority leader should be well informed of.
Correct.
Mr. Jeffries is also responding in good faith, and these committees are becoming more and more bipartisan because the Democrats are able to appoint workers to these committees instead of just symbolic appointments thinking they will be excluded and that the Republicans are just going to bulldog through these committees. Overall, Mr. McCarthy is taking steps to cool the House's temperature and get it working productive again. Overall, Karl Rove points out that Karl Rove writes that Mr. McCarthy is taking steps to cool the House's temperature and get it working productively again. Which is particularly interesting because we're at a time, and we would typically call this a lame duck Congress because the Senate is Democrat and the House is Republican. So we're thinking nothing is going to get done. But now there's these members, and honestly, if we had to predict this, we would think the Democrats would be the ones to work things out. But
Correct.
The Republicans are the ones that are taking steps to include the Democrats and make things work. McCarthy and Mr. Jeffries are also working on House-wide briefings on the budget and 10-year estimates, which is things that both sides should always be equally included in. But again, Pelosi specifically excluded the minority leadership from previously. So Karl Rove points out that we're not suggesting that the next 2 years are going to be sugar plums, unicorns, and rainbows. And I would just add that nothing in politics is ever sugar plums, unicorns, and rainbows.
Definitely not.
There's going to be disagreements. There's going to be bitter and angry and unruly disagreements. This House is very narrowly divided, so there's a lot of kindling set in this fire, but perhaps McCarthy is cooling things off and showing that we all can work together. Mr. Rove points out that the golden rule isn't a bad starting point for this relationship between the speaker and minority leader, and there is something to be said for leaving a better place than you found. And there is something to be said for leaving a place better than you found it.
Yeah.
By having civil conversations and treating each other with respect, House leaders can avoid distractions and create areas of agreement and compromise. The final closing thought that Karl Rove has is he harkens back to the 80s when President Ronald Reagan shared drinks and stories with Democratic Speaker Tip O'Neill, despite having concurrent, difficult conversations about Social Security. By being civil to each other, Mr. McCarthy and Jeffries can set a model for the party conferences. So Karl Rove points out that this isn't just going to be between the two leaders, the majority and minority leader, but this will trickle down into the rest of the parties to work together to compromise and to get work done.
Correct.
And the final closing thought by Mr. Rove here. Given the acidic state of American politics, this is needed now more than ever.
It is. For so long we've been divided. There was a little bit under the Obama administration when President Obama was giving the State of the Union address, and he had every a Democrat and a Republican sit together.
Right.
that worked for like till the speech was over with, and then everybody went back to
Sure.
where they wanted to do. Now, amongst many of our conversations where we had not recording, what Mr. McCartney is doing is something that, you know, it should have been done a long time ago. You know, we need to stop. We're all here trying to achieve one goal. Take the label off of I'm a Democrat, you're a Republican, or vice versa, or whatever.
Do your job.
Do your job and work towards that goal, because once you do that, then the country is better overall.
Right.
You know, it's just so much division. And I admire him for doing that, because it's something that needs to be done. You know, if you're, you know, want to have a subcommittee of 10, okay, let's do, you know, and you present your people, and then, you know, the Speaker of the House present like, hey, okay, well, you know, I have 10 Democrats that'll do good. Okay, well, I'll take 5 of yours. We'll do 5 of mine, and then we'll work together and we get the job done.
Sure.
And, you know, this is something that is long overdue. And, you know, more power to him, and I hope that it works out.
Right. Agreed. Yeah, this kind of reminds me of now Attorney General Merrick Garland, when he was nominated by Obama to be a Supreme Court justice. And it was towards the very end of Obama's term. Senators refused to have a hearing. And I wrote a letter to Senator Cruz saying, do your job. I got no response, but I wish they would have just done their job.
Exactly.
It frustrates me when politicians politic instead of doing their job.
I had a philosophy professor in college, and he said, our country has been, because in the beginning class, he wanted everybody to write down what we wanted to do. And I told him that one day I want to go into politics. And then so we had taken a test, and I was going up to him turning my test, and he was like, I'm going to give you some words of wisdom. When you enter into the realm of politics, run as a statesman, not a politician. A politician goes out to conquer what they want, demean the other person, bring out all the dirt against the other person. A statesman goes into it showing, this is why I'm better qualified for the job. And then once you get the job and you're elected, then you present yourself as working with other people to get the one main goal done.
Sure.
Our country is full of politicians. We don't work together. We try to throw crap on the other ones.
Right.
And we want to be like, okay, well, Republicans are better. And then on the Democratic side, it was like, Democrats are better.
So perhaps in 4 words, be statesmen, not politicians.
Exactly. And I think that if more politicians were statesmen, we'll be reaching out across the aisles and saying like, hey, you know what? Let's put my bright idea with your bright idea, and then together we can move things better. You know, like when it, you know, it's almost every time the budget season comes to an end, they're like, well, the Democrats and the Republicans haven't come to a consensus, so it looks like we're going to, you know, forego the budget. And, you know, then you have all federal employees are starting not getting paychecks because they haven't reached the budget and everything. Can we just move and work towards the common goal of making this country better overall? Like, give me some of your ideas and reach across the aisle, get some of those ideas. Let's work together. I think that this is what Mr. McCarthy is working on. And I believe that, you know, if Democrats and Republicans follow his lead, I think there will be a turning point for our U.S. government to where we can, despite our differences, work together for the common goal.
Yeah, definitely agree.
And who knows, maybe he'll be a potential candidate for president.
Yeah.
You know, if his idea really works
Agreed.
out and he's able to join Democrats and Republicans together and reach across both aisles and have that rapport with both sides.
That could just be what we're looking for.
This is the next candidate. That'll be
and even if he is only doing this in order to become that next candidate, perhaps this will show that this does work.
Exactly.
You know, this getting along together and work and choosing to work together does in fact get work done, and perhaps a president that has experienced that and shown that would also be able to get work done.
Exactly.
So yeah, I think it is worth examining this a little bit like an experiment.
Yeah.
But the potential is great here. We'll just have to watch and see.
Yeah, you know, he is in the spotlight, and all eyes on him, and we have to see, you know, what he's gonna do and how it's gonna play out. But I definitely see some potential here, and plus, as and Dan and I talked about many times, we need a younger president. We need somebody that
True.
is late 40s, early 50s, and that can reach across both aisles and bring everybody together and unify them for a common goal. And this just may be the person that can do it.
Agreed. So our final topic today, I wanted to briefly discuss subplots. So a subplot is a secondary sort of strand or even a tertiary strand to a main story that's going on. And these are very common in movies and actually required for a movie to be interesting or a TV show to be interesting. And but the point I'm making here is that they are sub to the main storyline. So I think we being American consumer, no, I think we being consumers of vlog type content need to remember that in real life, there isn't always a subplot.
Correct.
So there's this blogger that I watch, and I use her blogs as background for when I'm working, or I just want noise in the background. I want to see something going on, but I don't need to focus on it. And she has 12 kids, and it's her and her husband. And they have other support members in this story. And there's also like a Reddit community or 2 or 3 that like to shit talk her. And they invent these storylines as to what's actually going on that are movie worthy. But not real life. Like, there doesn't have to be nefarious subplots constantly to motivate people to do good. People can just do good.
Yeah, they can just be a good person and just do good on their own.
Right. Like, it can just... so people get on her about making these big meals and we don't ever see the kids eating, so the kids must be eating junk. No, there's no subplot there. The kids are eating and we're just not showing it to you, and that's okay.
Yes.
We don't need to invent a subplot for what's going on. She's just doing that because she has an eating disorder and she's, eating all that food and then throwing it all up with no evidence of that.
How about we just realize that sometimes in large families or in small families, dinner time is where everybody comes together. They shut off their phones. They shut off everything. They're excommunicated from the outside world, and it's the time that they share together.
Sure.
So maybe how about we just say she's making this meal for her family and cutting off the camera, and they're sitting down eating.
And just because she shows a lot doesn't mean she shows everything.
Exactly.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
And like, oh, I thought you said your kid has food aversions and now he's going to eat that? Yeah. Kids are funny.
They are.
You have a 4-year-old that sometimes all she wants to eat is noodles.
Exactly.
And other times she's fine and she'll eat some crazy random stuff.
When my mother picks her up from school, she wants to eat a freaking salad.
Right.
What 4-year-old wants to eat a freaking salad? My kid does.
Right.
At school, she's eating pizza and other crap.
But then at home, she gets all funny and only wants to eat ramen noodles or whatever.
Yeah.
Or crackers or gummy snacks.
Yeah. And is she malnourished? No. The doctor says she's fine. Am I a bad parent for giving her, ramen noodles or the little fruit snacks?
Right.
No.
No.
Because 1, my kid is healthy. 2, she's not overweight, so she's perfectly fine.
Right.
But put me in a spotlight where
you said one thing and now you're not following that one thing months later.
Yeah.
And you're going to be crucified.
Exactly.
And it's ridiculous.
It is.
And you don't have a subplot there. You're not trying to game the system by getting people to watch your videos because you said your kid had food aversions or food allergies at one point and now doesn't. It's just, that's life.
It is.
And part of vlogging is showing life. And that's what we want in these vlogs. But at the same time, that's what we're going to bitch and moan and crucify someone over. Couple this all with that these 12 kids, 8 of them are adopted or kinship placement, so close to adoption or foster care. So do we really think that the air quotes here, junk food and crap that she's being fed, that she's feeding these kids is worse than the situation that they were taken out of? The state doesn't. The state certainly doesn't.
No.
So how about we just are thankful that these kids are getting a better life than what they would have elsewhere?
And even if they are getting junk and crap food, it was a hell of a lot better than what they were getting if they even ate in a single day.
Right. So we'll move this in steps. So we're going to agree that this is better than the parents that they don't have.
Correct.
And we know this is better than a foster home.
Correct.
So why do we have a problem with someone taking care of these kids? There isn't a subplot here. Yeah, she got rich. She did, over social media and TikToks and with brand sponsorships and all that kind of stuff. But more power to her. She found a way to make money off of her life.
And are we all trying to do that in some sort of way?
That's the American dream.
Yeah.
And now we're mad at her just because she uses her kids in her American dream?
But in the same way, people who have kids, aren't they using their kids to achieve their American dream? So just because she is a celebrity in her own right, now we want to shame her for doing it.
Right.
But okay, well, take the spotlight off for her and put it back on you and see what you're doing in your life where you can point their life towards hers.
Right there. That's it.
Yeah. Because we hold her as in a celebrity status, but in actuality, she's doing the same damn thing that we're doing every single damn day with our own families.
So go check them out on YouTube. That's the Dougherty Dozen on YouTube and TikTok. Dougherty is DOUGHTERY, Dougherty Dozen. Go check them out and let us know what you think.
Good or bad, we'd like to hear.
And maybe we'll keep this as a not a regular topic, but we'll touch back on this, and I'll bring some more of the Reddit comments. Maybe we'll review a little bit more and talk about how ridiculous this hate that she gets is, and there isn't a subplot here. There isn't a nefarious, world dictatorship being built in this house. No, she's taking care of kids.
Yeah.
And she's using every tool she has, including social media, to make money to take care of these kids.
I mean, when you have 12 kids, an ordinary, 8 to 5 job is not going to cut it.
Right.
So making money off of social media or some other platform to try to make extra money to take care of the kids. Mind you, 8 of the kids she does not have to take in.
Yeah.
Out of her own free goodwill, her, the goodness of her heart, she decided to do so.
Just briefly, her story, they couldn't have kids. They adopted one kid, then they got pregnant, and then they adopted another kid, and then they got pregnant. And now the system, the adoption system knew that they were at home looking for kids. So they kept coming to them when they had tougher cases. And that's how they ended up with the group. And then the last two are kinship placements, which are if you and Alicia got in a situation where you could not take care of your kids, I could take them for you. It's like a fostering, but it's like a close relationship foster.
Okay.
So she knew their mother. She was friends with her mother, and there's a situation that was not conducive to raising the kids, so she's taking them for now. And she figured, I have 10, might as well have 2 more. Like it.
Hey, why not?
and she's given them a better life than I've seen a lot of other kids get that aren't in the system, let alone kids that are in the system.
Yeah.
So anyways, yeah, it's the Dougherty Dozen over on YouTube and TikTok. Check them out. Anything coming up for you this week?
Nothing I can think of right now. I'm pretty sure there's something coming up. I just, you know what? I'm making a plan of using my calendar on my phone a lot more, because there's sometimes I agree to stuff and then I get a text like, hey, you coming over for this? I'm like, oh, crap.
You got to put it somewhere where you get reminded, a day before, a couple hours before. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm definitely coming over next weekend, and we're going to do some yard work.
Yeah. My front landscaping is in need of some edging, and I need to replace a tree. I need to replace all the landscaping. So we're going to do an edging around the tree bed and then around the sidewalk bed. And then hopefully this week before that, I'll be able to rip out the current plants that are dead and the tree that's dead. And if we get all that done Saturday, maybe we'll go pick up some plants and get them in the ground Saturday, Sunday. We'll see.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, and same here. It's sort of just a normal week for me. Nothing crazy going on. It's the last week of bowling for this season. We'll crown a champion this week.
Boo.
Yeah. Yay!
Yay! Boo for no more bowling, but yay for a champion.
Exactly. Well, and boo for the stress and the grief that bowling causes, but or boo, yay for that, but boo for the lack of social interaction I'll have in person every week.
True.
But you know, it starts back up here in another 6 to 7 weeks, so
it's not too
it won't
bad.
be too bad. Yeah.
Give you a nice little break before you jump right back in it.
I'd like to get back into golfing this week too. I've taken a little bit of time off to get my back better. I think it's as good as it's going to get. My elbow's feeling a lot better, so I think it's time to get back into golf and hit a couple balls this week too.
There you go.
But we'll see.
That was a perfect ending.
Well, that's all for today. Remember to check us out on all the social medias. That's Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Life with Dan and Lewis.
That's at Life with Dan and Lewis.
And we're on YouTube now at Life with Dan and Lewis there as well, where you can check out the same podcast. No video component, but I do some cool graphics up on the screen. We're trying to grow that a lot too, so you'll also see that posted on our Facebook.
And who knows, maybe later on, sometime in the future, you'll get a video of us here and there.
Someday we do hope to do live streams, and YouTube is going to be our platform for live streaming.
There you go. Come check us out.
We'll be back next week with another episode. Until then, check out our new limited series, The Spotlight with Dan. New episodes will be coming periodically throughout this year. Thanks for listening today. More episodes can be found anywhere podcasts are found and on our website at lwdl.buzzsprout.com and on YouTube at Life with Dan and Lewis.
That's lwdl.buzzsprout.com and also on YouTube at Life with Dan and Lewis.
Until next time, ask yourself, what have you done today to help someone else? Make good choices.
And love one another.